If you ever had any doubt what Harry Potter house I'm in. Hello everybody, it's Rebecca here at Wine Mermaids, and today I'm here to talk about Harry Potter, of course. So recently, Pottermore reopened. Well, it changed its design and whatnot, and everybody was upset because Pottermore, you had accounts, and we'd all been sorted years ago into our houses. And then all of a sudden, Pottermore just decided to change its complete layout and type. I think it's because they'd already gone through all the books, they didn't know what else to do. So now it's more like Harry Potter news. And they got rid of the sorting, they got rid of the accounts, all of that. Well, about a month ago, they brought it back. So they have the sorting, it's back up. In case you didn't know this already, you can once again, or for the first time, be sorted into your Harry Potter house on Pottermore, which is official sorting hat. A lot of people have been taking this and then getting upset because either Pottermore changed what they originally got. So the first time they took the sorting hat quiz on Pottermore, the old Pottermore, they got Hufflepuff, and then now they're getting a Ravenclaw, or a Gryffindor, and Slytherin, or whatever. And so they feel like their identity is kind of broken in a way. And I completely this bothers me in so many ways. So I wanted to talk about it today, about why the sorting hat doesn't really matter, and why we need to kind of change the narrative about the houses anyway, because there's negative connotations and positive connotations, and really there shouldn't be. You shouldn't let a computer algorithm decide what's in your heart. So here's my discussion. I have a discussion for you today about this, because it's been something that I feel like I've commented on a lot of people's videos and tweets and whatnot about this topic. So here we go, I'm just gonna put it all out here. I mean, obviously, I'm a Gryffindor. I always have been a Gryffindor ever since I was a little kid. I kind of always associated myself with Harry and Ron and Hermione and the Gryffindors, partly because that's what Harry, Ron, and Hermione are, and then partly because that's what I value. And so if you look at Gryffindor, Gryffindors value bravery. And I don't mean like I'm gonna run and be stupid kind of bravery. I mean like bravery in the everyday. Like taking risks and taking chances and confronting your fears in a way that you might not necessarily want to do, or you might be kind of scared to do, but you do it anyway. It's kind of like the Coraline idea. It's not being brave because you want to be, it's being brave because you have to be. And so I've always kind of really loved that idea about just bravery in the everyday. Bravery to get up and face whatever it is that your demon is that day. Bravery to fight against your own insecurities and to kind of take chances. I moved to LA on a whim for an internship after college, completely uprooted my entire life. I would not have been able to do that had I not been brave and confident in myself and my abilities and that kind of lust for adventure. Now, I'm not gonna go jump off a cliff because I'm not that kind of brave and dumb, but I find myself brave in the way that I kind of conduct myself in a normal life. So that's why I consider myself to be Gryffindor. It doesn't matter that the quizzes I've taken online at Pottermore and other sorting quizzes have put me in Gryffindor, which not all of them did. Some of the other ones, not the Pottermore ones, but like the BuzzFeed ones, are like Hufflepuff or Ravenclaw. Weirdly enough, I've never actually gotten Slytherin, but I've gotten Hufflepuff and Ravenclaw kind of often, and then I get Gryffindor the rest of the time. All of that being said, and yes, I do value bravery the most, I do value and I associate myself with Gryffindors the most, I do appreciate and value some of the qualities in the other houses. I appreciate kindness and loyalty and intelligence and creativity and passion and determination, which are not technically necessarily Gryffindor traits, but everybody has some traits of all of them inside. We're not in the world of Divergent, where you don't have, you're a Dauntless and that's it. This is the real world, and even in the Harry Potter world, everybody has lots of different traits that make them up. Just because I'm a Gryffindor doesn't mean that I don't value kindness. I do. Kindness is one of my top traits that I believe that I have and that I look for in others, but that doesn't make me a Hufflepuff. I am a Gryffindor because that is what I associate myself with, that is what I believe in myself to be. So again, all of this is kind of just, it depends on what is in your heart, and remember the sorting hat takes your considerations into its choosing. Harry was between Slytherin and Gryffindor, which are two very kind of overlapping houses as well, but he chose Gryffindor. So if you're sitting there and you're like, but you know, the sorting hat, the computer program says I'm a Ravenclaw, but I've always been a Hufflepuff, then be a Hufflepuff. Who cares what a computer has to say? Listen to what's inside your heart. Now the second half of this video is kind of more of a discussion on the qualities and the connotations of the houses themselves. A lot of people are getting them and they're like, well, I don't want to be a Slytherin because Slytherins are evil, or I don't want to be a Hufflepuff or whatever. Alright, but I want to kind of change that. I want to take away some of those negative and positive connotations and put everything on an even playing field. The only reason that Gryffindor is the biggest house, the house that everybody wants to be in, is because it's Harry, Ron, and Hermione's house, and the story is told from Harry's perspective. If the story had been told from Tonks's perspective, or Cedric Diggory's perspective, or Luna's perspective, or Draco's perspective, you would have a different appreciation for the houses. If it were told from Draco's perspective, you might want to be a Slytherin because you associate yourself and you see Draco as the hero rather than the villain. You would see Harry as the villain and say, oh, Gryffindor. I don't want that. Because of that, we also see the negative portrayal of those houses based on Harry's view. Harry wants to be in Gryffindor because that's what his friends say and because that's the connotation he's gotten based on other people. But a lot of people, if you think about in the wizarding world, they come from the 4 houses are split pretty evenly. So your parents might be a Hufflepuff and you're gonna stick to that Hufflepuff tradition and really love Hufflepuff. Same thing with Ravenclaw, Slytherin, Gryffindor, all of them. So it's all about who you are as a person and what you've been brought up to believe. As we, as readers, having only read Harry's perspective, again, we are enforced that the Gryffindor house is the best house when it's not necessarily at all. Let's look at the way that the book, The Sorting Hat, what are the determining traits? If you look at it, Gryffindor is daring, nerve, chivalry, so bravery. Hufflepuff is hard work, loyalty, kindness, and friendly. But Hufflepuff also gets all the rest. If you look in the Sorting Hat song, it says, and Hufflepuff, she took all the rest, or whatever it is. Well, that kind of says right there, that connotation is like, well, Hufflepuff wasn't really good enough to be in any of the other houses. But I don't like that, because Hufflepuffs are strong people. They are kind, they are loyal, they are nice, they believe in hard work, and who doesn't want to be that? When I asked my students at the beginning of the year, I asked them which trait they valued the best and which trait described them the best. So which one did they value, which one did they describe? And I listed major trait from each of the 4 houses. An overwhelming majority picked Hufflepuff for both, and they had no idea that it was a Harry Potter thing. I was sorting them into houses based on their beliefs, but they had no idea. They were just like, oh, do I like ambition, or do I like loyalty, or do I like bravery, whatever. Most of them picked Hufflepuff traits. Hufflepuff is not a bad house at all, and I hate that people are like, oh, well, Hufflepuff is just the losers. They're not the losers at all. They are the good, kind people that we all look up to every day and hope that we are. So all the rest should be all the best. And I'm not even a Hufflepuff. Let's continue on. Ravenclaw's qualities are usually intelligence, knowledge, wit, and maybe creativity, which, I mean, who doesn't want knowledge and reading and learning? That sounds up my alley too. And Slytherin has been described as cunning, ambitious, and resourceful. Look at the terminology here. For Gryffindor, we get brave, right? And we get chivalrous and daring. These like high, awesome terms. For Slytherin, you get cunning and ambitious. Who's gonna pick that they want to be cunning over brave or kind or smart? Who's gonna pick cunning? So let's change the words a little bit, shall we? If you change Gryffindor to reckless and impulsive, which are also terms that fit in underneath the Gryffindor little banner there. Synonyms, that doesn't sound very good. Impulsive and reckless? Nobody wants to be impulsive and reckless either. But let's change Slytherin to determined, sharp, creative, and passionate. Well, if I was given those options instead, I would much rather be a Slytherin. It all depends on the wording and how things are described and the connotations associated with those words. It's not a bad thing to be a Slytherin, you just have to pick the right words. So my question is not what did Pottermore sort you as? What is the house that Pottermore gave you? Pottermore gives you 10 random questions out of a set of 30. It's not even, it's like left or right. How does that determine what house you're in? It doesn't. It's just a random question. What really determines what house you're in is how do you describe yourself, what do you value most, and what does your heart tell you? Are you going to let a computer program determine your self-value, your self-worth, and what house you are in, or are you gonna let your heart tell you? Anyway, so I've rambled on long enough about this topic. Obviously, I'm very passionate about it. Maybe I should be a Slytherin. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. What did Pottermore put you as? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Let me know. Let's continue this discussion down in the comments. That's it for me today. I'll see you next time.